Welcome back. ODHtv, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 6. This one is entitled The Price of Fame. Rock tries to overcome Marvin's poor judgment. Kanan recruits Jukebox to help him get justice for his friend. Unique assembles the final pieces of his plan. And I have to say, this episode proved that I got a lot of things 1000% right. But I did get one thing wrong, I believe. It's not proven wrong yet, but I think it's wrong. And that is that Marvin may not have done it. But like I always say, it's okay to be wrong, but you already know.
I'm always right. It's like when I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I could have been right. So I'm still right because I could have been wrong, but I'm right.
So don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's start at the beginning. The episode starts off with the Thomas family having a homegoing for Famous at Cafe Vu.
What's up with Famous?
The beginning of this was narrated by older Kanan saying, when you see enough of your people die, pieces of you start dying too. And you lose so much of yourself, you can't find you no more. And when you're going like that, you're going for good, and ain't nothing gonna bring you back. And Kanan is going through it right now.
Kanan gonna want some payback for his friend.
Lou says he wants payback for Fame also. And Rock says, I thought you weren't into that anymore, but he says he's gonna make an exception for Famous. Rock also warns that the police are gonna be looking closely at his family and friends to see if anybody tries to get payback. Now this part of the scene where Kanan and Jukebox are talking is kind of interesting because even though I'm starting to lean toward myself being wrong about Rock ordering Marvin to take out Famous, I thought it was interesting because right here, Kanan is watching his mother console Famous's mother. And the last time he saw her do that was with D-Wiz's mother. And he was looking at her the same way as if he knew something was wrong. And Jukebox tells Kanan, if you find out who put Fame down, best believe I want in on that. Kanan asks Jukebox, since when you out here gunning for folks? She says ever since they put down Fame, and then they immediately switch the camera shot to Marvin. They do this a lot in Power. They do this a lot in cinema, period. And since they do this a lot, this could be a pump fake, but we'll see. Rock comes over and asks Kanan how he's holding up. He gets up and walks away. She tells Juke to watch out for her cousin. She don't want him to do anything stupid. That's the inmates running the asylum right there. She don't know that Jukebox is already batshit crazy. Meanwhile, at Phil Russo's New Jersey sanitation business, Unique shows up for an unannounced meeting. He tells him he has all his pieces in place and he just needs money and muscle. Unique tells Phil that his plan is already in motion to go up against Rock and Stefano. Phil lets him know
you can't be dropping bodies, not even your girlfriend.
Then he sends him to a place where he can get soldiers. Rock and Marvin pay a visit to David.
Look, we keep having this conversation, David. Our trucks need to move.
This man is fried. He's literally blasting off while Rock is talking to him. All he cares about is having a party so that both their organizations can get to know each other. What?
We need to load up these trucks and we need to get out this work.
I'm thinking green.
He's so far gone, I don't even know if he cares if his brother Terry is dead. Even when Marvin grabs him up and threatens him with a beatdown, this dude just giggling.
You're very funny, Marvin. And strong. And this is why we need to have a mixer.
Rock can't take it anymore. She tells Marvin this is exactly why I said be light on Terry. She has to meet with the Afghan people with her partners, and she can't introduce him to David. He tries to explain to Rock that Terry said he was going to the police, but Rock tells him that he wasn't going to do that, and that they can't rely on David to get these trucks moving with their product. She's super frustrated. Marvin's solution is,
Could take David out too.
Okay, and then what we got, Marvin?
first time I ever heard her voice crack. She's super frustrated.
Could take David out too.
Okay, and then what we got, Marvin? You gonna keep him in line. He on you, Marvin.
Stefano told him the same thing about early. Seems like everything's on Marvin. Kanan gets back to the spot with OC, and you can see that people are already starting to fear Kanan. OC keeps contradicting himself with the work and the information on Famous.
So you just wanted that to work?
Kanan is getting frustrated with OC.
Can I get a straight answer out of you, nigga?
He tells him if they want to make some real loot, get him some information on Famous. Meanwhile, Lou is at an AA meeting trying to find himself. Jukebox is at home having breakfast and sees Famous's picture on the table. She gets her father's gun from under the couch cushion and has breakfast with it. Kanan is back at the storage unit stashing some more of his money. And of course, OC has followed him. How's he reaching that gas pedal?
I've told you everything I know already, Detective Garcia.
So after treating Miss Figueroa by dirt, he's now asking for her help again in the investigation.
He was assisting us in the investigation of the murder of a police officer.
And right here in my last video, I was 1000% right as to if he was talking to the police and who he was talking about. Link up top and in the description, of course. Remember, Famous went into Kanan's backpack and read his daddy test with Detective Howard. So not only did Famous know they were a family of drug dealers, that information about Detective Howard being Kanan's father could also fall back on all of them. It gives the police pieces of the puzzle. So whether he was knocked off by police, Detective Howard, or Marvin, he was snitching.
It stands to reason that that's why he was killed.
But she said that just means some cop ran his mouth and sold out her son. Mrs. Figueroa says you didn't care before, why you care now? Get out of my house.
How you feeling?
Like I'm dying.
Lou visits his dying mother, Joyce. Joyce asks him if Marvin told him what she wanted him to do. She said she didn't ask Rock because she was too hard and didn't ask him because he was too fragile.
You always could find the right words to make me feel wrong as hell.
She tells Lou that she asked Marvin to help her end it, so she didn't have to stay on this earth any longer in this pain. She could leave on her own terms.
You asked me to do it. To kill you?
He said he can't do it, and he's not scared of what it'll do to her. He's scared of what it'll do to him. Unique gets back to the tailor shop to get his clothes back. He wants to look like he never left. So Kanan went back to his trap house to speak with OC to find out if they had any information on Famous.
Tell him what you told me.
And this dude came out of Kanan's spot, the same dude who I made the video about, who I still believe is Young Ghost, wearing that Penn State University hoodie. Not as if he went there, but as to give us a hint as to him being smart. I don't care what anybody says, that's Young Ghost. Prove me wrong. Came out to give him some news about a fiend that they're serving over in the 40s, and he gave him information about who actually took out Famous. Look at OC, he got hard and grimy real fast.
Fiend we serve over at the 40 said it was Freddie Wild's crew.
Kanan tells OC he did great work. Back at the studio, Lou and B Rilla recording. Stops him and tells him to come out the booth because he wants to talk to him. Lou tells him that maybe they should move past the gangster stuff and go a little deeper. They begin to argue, and B Rilla says, you came and got me from jail, told me my flow was good, and now you don't like it?
It sounds like you need to get your shit right.
I'm gonna step out before I do some shit I regret.
Love to see what that look like.
You wouldn't.
Rock, Stefano, and the Afghan Connect meet at a restaurant to make a deal. Rock lays down her terms and gives the highest price she's willing to pay. And they have a deal. Marvin goes back to visit his mother. He asks the nurse how she's doing and what kind of mood she's in. Then suddenly he changes his mind and he's about to leave. He looks down the hallway toward her room and stares at a framed picture of what looks like a dahlia flower. More symbolism. These flowers represent betrayal, sadness, and death. At the same time, you hear a deep church bell ring in the background, which also symbolizes death. Marvin looks very troubled. Do you think he came back to find out if she still wants him to do it? Let me know what you think in the comments. Kanan sees Freddy's crew headed to the basketball court. He sees one of them is strapped and decides to get help. At the same time, Jukebox has set up her own tactical firearms training course. Rock goes to Kanan's house to let him know that they have a new connect. He's not there, so she has to relay the message through Crystal. And Lou, struggling with his drinking problem, decides to call Famous' sister Jess to help him get away from the bar. Unique pulls up to the man that Phil Russo told him about to get his soldiers.
I got the soldiers you need.
Jukebox comes back home, and Marvin wants to know where his firearm is.
What the f you doing, Juke? Where am I gonna?
He said he knew as soon as he sat down something wasn't right. Marvin hides his gun under this cushion. I'll get back to why I told you that later. She says she didn't do anything bad with it, just target practice. She says she'd been doing it since she was in the army. She liked it, she was good at it, and it calmed her down. He asked Jukebox what's messing with her head. Is it Famous? Is it the army? Is it killing her friend's husband? She says it's being back home, it's the army, it's Famous. But she didn't mention anything about killing that dude's husband. Obviously that's not messing with her. Or so she thinks. He says he tried to tell her after she put that man down that it was gonna mess with her head. You think you're good and then you're not. She says, is that how it happens with you? He said, we're talking about you, not me.
I am you.
Marvin says he doesn't want her to have that part of him inside her. That didn't sound right. He explains the dangers of her being like him. Good scene. I'm gonna have to come back and break this down in another video.
Just came back my motherfucking gun.
And Lou gets with Jess at the studio. Marvin goes to pick up his cut from the gambling operation at Early's shop. Early's complaining that between paying Marvin and Stefano, he's not getting the money he should be getting because it's hard to collect from the Italian guys.
What you looking at me for?
That's hilarious. Told him to handle it himself.
That's your business, not mine.
This is definitely going to lead to a problem. Back at the studio, Lou gets caught out there by Imani because Jess left her jewelry there. So she storms out. So as a setup for B Rilla's next scene, we meet B Rilla's child and child's mother. He's delivering Pampers and she needs money. Kanan goes to get Jukebox for help.
You serious? When you said you put in the work?
Hell yeah.
Kanan is unhinged, by the way. You hear his voice?
You serious? When you said you put in the work?
So Jukebox goes to get Marvin's gun that he hid from her under a different cushion in the same couch. This dude's brain doesn't work properly. So when they get to the park, they see Freddy's crew. Kanan says there's 4 of them and 2 of us, and they're most likely strapped. Jukebox doesn't give a fuck and comes up with the plan to do the ambush. See how Jukebox is blurry right here? As she comes into focus, she starts to lay out the plan. Not to get all poetic about it, but she comes into focus like we're gonna start to see who she really is.
Closest any gun gonna be in her jackets. You get the drop on her? Ain't gonna be nowhere for them to run.
Kanan calls her Stone Cold Juke and asks if the army did this to her. She just gives him a look and then she says this.
You know which one killed Fab? No matter anyway. If it's one of them, all of them. We dropping all 4.
As they get out to start this ambush, Jukebox is still barking out orders to Kanan, letting them know how they're going to approach, who's going to engage, and who's going to be the decoy.
You cover the far side? Let me get their attention.
And as we see, Kanan has no problem following these orders. Men are logical, and if it sounds right, it is right. Which leads me to believe that all the tactics that Kanan taught Tommy and Ghost was taught to him by Jukebox, not Breeze. But that's for another video. Look how happy Jukebox looks as they approach these kids. She shoots the basketball off the rim and Kanan shows up asking questions.
I got next.
Kanan starts asking which one of y'all put down Fame, and that is the face of a terrified man. When one of them tries to run, Jukebox lets one go. Remember, we out here broad day public, Jukebox letting rounds go. When Jukebox tells them to all get on their knees, Kanan tells them they should listen to her. This guy decides to resist. Jukebox seemed happy that he did.
I said, get on your fucking knees, nigga.
So these dudes start copping pleas saying it wasn't them.
You lying with pistols pointed at you?
This one in the champion hoodie starts begging, saying we didn't do anything to Famous. But at this point, Jukebox is just having fun. This dude is scared to death. Look at Jukebox just smiling. Happy.
And remember Jukebox?
Yeah, that fucking crazy bitch.
I think we definitely gonna get what we want out of her and then some.
This nigga's about to cry.
Kanan's like, what? He looking a little uncomfortable now. Tells him he'd be better off with a bullet in his head than the block know that he leaking. But they still clapping pleas about not doing anything to Famous. He said he heard it was the cops that did it.
Now I know you bullshit.
He said Famous was telling him about dirty cops that he knew about, and he heard it in a barbershop.
Who told you that?
I think they're starting to believe it now. Surely they're thinking about Detective Howard.
Maybe he ain't lying, so.
You can hear the police sirens closing in. Jukebox does not care. She really don't want to leave without a body.
Just fuck it. They gotta go.
They had to hire this dude because of his face. He looked like he could say anything with that face. He starts begging for his life, and Kanan's like, look, we gotta go.
We gotta go. We done it.
But she really don't want to go. Look at this. She needs medication. I don't even know if I should even speculate on who's gonna be her next body. They gonna drop fast and hard. Kanan is looking at her like, what is up with my cousin? I'm sorry, but my man's face is killing me. It's like I can hear his voice with his facial expressions. But they finally dip out of the park just in time. So B Rilla goes into an African bookstore to meet up with his running buddy that he does robberies and break-ins with. He explains he wants to rob Lowell, the owner of the label that he's on, because he has an irresponsible amount of cash laying around in his house.
We gotta do it soon.
This may be the end of B Rilla and this Kendrick Perkins looking dude. Lou goes to Jess's house to return her jewelry that she left in the studio. She tells him she's moving back to LA with her mother. Then we have this last scene where Rock comes home after a long day. We see her back door is open. She walks into her kitchen, cuts on the light, and who does she see? Unique eating ice cream.
No, you ain't wrong about this butter pecan.
I thought this was a good episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. Jukebox is off her rocker, and now Unique is back. I'll be back in the next one.
Get her. Player to player, I mean. Games that you playing, I seen. The chance that I'm taking, I mean. These things that I'm saying, I'm sorry. I don't even know what I really need. I don't even know if you're feeling me.